Welcome to Foggy Morning Interviews.
Hi, pleasure to be on the show. I'm Pinocchio. Yes, that Pinocchio.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We all know that there are some pretty famous aspects of your life, but to start, I would love to hear about something important to you that people may not know about.
Oh, well, I run a carpenter shop. I took over my dad's old business, and now my family helps run it.
Really? That's lovely. My dad was actually a carpenter as well. He took over the shop from his dad, actually. My older brother was gonna take over the family business in turn, that he made other choices.
Really? Would I know the name?
Mildredson Carpentry?
Oh, Matthias Mildredson.
That's my dad. You know of him?
Very well respected work. He's a true craftsman. I have one of his chairs, actually.
Oh, really? What kind of woodworking do you specialize in?
I make wooden puppets.
Well, that must be a little bit complicated for you.
Well, it's not as awkward as you might think. I used to help my dad even before I was human, and my kids help in the shop occasionally. I've started teaching them the family business. You know, my actual real human children that my partner and I adopted, because you can do that. Adoption is a thing. You actually don't need to bring toys to life. Adoption exists. So we have these 3 beautiful children, and it feels like a really healing, full circle experience for me.
That's lovely. Of course, you are quite famous in certain circles. But for those who don't know or have heard just like the grapevine version, would you mind giving us just a little breakdown of your life?
Well, 20 years ago, I was turned into a human. I started out as a tree, and then I was made into a puppet in the ordinary woodworking way. However, that puppet, me, was later turned into a living puppet, almost like a human boy with thoughts and feelings and full autonomy over my body, but that body was still that of a puppet. I was a living, sapient, sentient being. I just wasn't the human that in the way we use that term. But then I earned my humanity and was turned into a real boy. You might be familiar with that term.
It doesn't seem like you're too happy with this trajectory.
Honestly, Marjory, it's not my favorite. That's still not her name. And I was starting to like you, Pinocchio. There are many days where I sort of wish that I had not been kind of locked into this narrative of needing to be human or not being human enough. All that kind of thing.
Being forced into something you're not.
And that goddamn blue fairy! She just goes around turning things that have nothing to do with her into other things that have nothing to do with her. I don't know what kind of game she's playing. She goes around being all like, being human is the best. Humans are great. You want to be a human. Humans are wonderful. Until you feel like you have to be a human. Just like, oh my gosh, how could you go another day without being human? I'll do anything. And I'm really not sure why she bothers. She's not human. She's never been human. She doesn't know what it's like to be human. It's all really very strange.
But wasn't she the one who woke you up as a puppet in the first place?
Yes, exactly. Isn't that weird? To make something sapient just so that you can convince it that it needs to be something else, which you need to make it into. The whole situation is very frustrating. I have restraining orders, both magical and non-magical, out on her. I don't know what her deal is, but I want nothing more to do with it. Wait, no, he's right. That is so sus. Ugh.
That's fair. Wait, so are you worried about her getting her hands on the puppets that you made?
Oh, no. I've hired so many different witches and wizards and warlocks. I have so many layers of wards over the shop. The blue fairy is not allowed anywhere near my shop, me, or anything that I've made. Nor can she do magic on anything that I've made or own, my shop, or anyone I care about.
That's quite thorough. And it's worked?
Quite sufficiently. If you get the right combination of wards and work within the magical parameters, wonders can be worked. Wait, ask him if we can get some of those.
And now that's very interesting. You wouldn't be able to give me the information on the people you got to do those boards, would you? Might come in handy someday.
Yes! Wait, am I... No, I'm muted. So, about those wards... Of course, I have many resources on the matter, and I'm very passionate about making sure people have access to them.
Oh, that's right. So besides your time spent woodworking, you also have a whole other career in advocating for magical education and protection.
Indeed. The woodworking is something I do to, pay the bills, for one thing, but also just because I enjoy working with my hands. However, I do put a lot of my energy into, as you say, magical education.
From what I understand, you have quite the substantial knowledge base on this subject.
Yes, I knew I wanted this to be the focus of my life fairly early. I'm very passionate about teaching people how magic can work for and against them. It can be very dangerous. It can be a threat, and there are people out there who use it uncaringly. However, there are a lot of ways it can be counteracted, and I want people to have that self-sufficiency.
If you don't know the threat is out there, you don't know how to protect yourself from it.
And the thing is, in a lot of cases, it's actually very simple to keep yourself safe. The tools and information are just not out there.
Well, I'm very glad that you're here to get those tools to the people who need them.
And I just want to say that if there are any people watching who aren't human, don't let anyone tell you that you need to do any sort of magical ritual to make yourself human. It is not all it's cracked up to be. Whether it's do these 7 deadly quests for me, or there's a magical goat up on the tallest of all mountains, and if you drink its milk, it'll make you human, or if you kill a rhinoceros in a specific way, that will make you human. I'm begging you, don't be tricked into giving yourself to a witch. You do not need to risk your life or your sanity, or give 7 years of service to any magical entity just because they are more powerful.
As someone who's always been human, yeah, I don't for a second believe that it's the best option out there.
And the thing about it is that I'm not exactly fully human, because I didn't start out that way. For one thing, I remember a time before I was human. I remember what it's like to exist fully, but in a way that isn't human, which someone like yourself, who's been human their whole life, just couldn't have. It's a bit of a false equivalency, and I still don't feel human as a result often. I feel in some ways more at home around trees, around the type of existence and consciousness that exists within trees. It feels much more real to me than the kind that I experience from being around other humans, which is complicated.
Can you talk more about what kind of memories or awareness you have of that different kind of existence?
Well, when I sleep, I dream about the life that the tree I had before it was carved into my first human body. It's the feeling of the wind and the branches, and the way that another tree tangles with your space sometimes. It's other trees falling in a windstorm. Sometimes it's stillness and bugs and birds. It's very hard to explain, because if you had a dream where you were a tree, it would be different, because that's you as a human imagining what it would be like to be a tree. And for me, I'm dreaming about essentially a past life that I had. So it's this strange kind of living multiple existences at the same time.
It sounds like that would make things very complicated and crowded inside your head.
Yeah, it's hard to explain to other people. It's a very strange experience, and not one that many people share.
Now that you have the knowledge that you do, are you able to explain on a magical level what the Blue Fairy did in relation to your life or the lives that you've lived?
Yeah. So, the thing about that is that the Blue Fairy cannot create things that don't exist. Even though she talked about it like she made me alive, she actually cannot make sentience and sapience where there isn't any. She can only transfigure. So she couldn't turn a plate or a piece of plastic into something alive, but she can turn something alive into a different kind of life.
I think I might be picking up on what you're saying. So she's really powerful, but is not capable of true creation magic, which I assume is a totally different kind of level of power, if it exists at all. So what she did is she did something that appeared to be a lot more powerful than it actually was.
Exactly. She is very powerful, but not as powerful as she tells you she is. The consciousness of the tree that was still trapped in the cells of the puppet wood, tree consciousness is very complicated, but that's a whole other topic. She was able to consolidate it and morph it into humanity. But even then, she wasn't able to create 100% humanity, only something that still kinda exists in a type of limbo state between one world and the next.
Getting more and more why you're so passionate about education on this subject. Her actions are really horrifying when you break it down.
Yes, thank you. And transfiguration is not the only discipline that is misused. I believe it is a tool that should only be used conscientiously.
Ugh, honestly, who is this lady? If she thinks she can go around manipulating people, then she can.
Where can people go if they want to find the resources that you've been telling us about?
Yes, so on my website, regrettinghumanity.com, there are a lot of resources for all the things we've discussed today. We have some introductory articles and interviews if you are interested in getting a basic understanding, as well as opportunities for a more in-depth knowledge base. My lovely partner, Sylvia, they did all the work of organizing the website and making it user-friendly. I'm very proud of what we've accomplished. We have gathered a collective of like-minded magical folks and scholars who are committed to my philosophy, ethically using magic and giving people the tools to understand it for themselves. They're like the small business owners of the magical world, if you will, including several people who specialize in wards and other long-term protections. They have been thoroughly vetted by me and are competent, trustworthy, and professional. They've been wonderful collaborators, and I'm really proud to be working with all of them. In addition to educational resources and our products and services, we've recently begun hosting classes both online and in person.
Oh, where is your team based, geographically speaking?
Well, Sylvia and I are the founders and leaders of the project, so in that sense, it's based in our rural Virginian home. But our team consists of people from all around the world. Currently, we're working on expanding even farther for better inclusivity. It's really important to us that these resources are available to everyone, no matter their background, lifestyle, or location.
That's really incredible. I have to tell you, I'm very impressed and moved by what you've built. It's even in the limited access that I've had to the mythological world in just the last few years, it's given me such an insight into how much there is going on and how little we know. It's really encouraging to learn about the work that you've been doing, and I really hope that everyone watching has a chance to check it out and make use of it. And can I say, it's really sweet how proud of your team you are. They're lucky to have you.
Thank you. That is kind to say. And I can assure you it is me who is lucky to have them.
Imagine someone actually respecting their employees. Ha! I bet he never forgot to book a guest this week or put any paperwork through the dishwasher or...
So I know that you've been very transparent about your history and you have some really clear motivations for the work that you do, but I'd love to hear in your own words what you feel keeps you going and working as hard as you do.
Well, for me, in a lot of ways, I feel like I'm living in a space that shouldn't exist. I live a life that I never thought I would have and certainly wasn't meant to have. So to me, it feels really important to use it for as much good as I can. I've really dedicated it to bringing the opportunities I wish I'd had when I was younger to others.
Well, we're almost out of time, but I have to ask, since you brought them up so many times, Sylvia. It sounds like you guys have a really beautiful relationship. May I ask what their relationship to magic is? Are they human? Did they grow up in the magical world as well, or have they just been able to learn about it and have empathy for it through you?
Sylvia is the best. They are really the most empathetic person I've ever met, and I'm so lucky to have them. To answer your question, they do have their own relationship to magic from before we met, very different from mine, and I won't go into it on their behalf, but they definitely have their own drive for change.
Well, it sounds like you guys make a really great team. Thank you so much for talking to me today, and I really wish you good luck in all of your endeavors.
Thank you for your time. I'm always grateful to have a platform to talk about these things. And there are so few who specialize in the mythological. I really appreciate your show for that.
Oh, wait. Do I specialize in the mythological?
I'm really starting to think that someone should look into the depression rates of the mythological world. Maybe just psychological well-being in general.
Go for Charlotta.
Hi. I have an interview request.
Oh, that's great. I'm thinking of booking about 6 months out. What have you got?
Could you look into if there are any therapists that specialize in clients that are mythological creatures and figures, just of the mythological world in general? That's a branch that we could interview someone from.
Yeah, sure thing.
Awesome. Thank you.